Okay, we are live a little bit early. It's been a while since I've been early normally. Normally I'm running a few minutes late. As you may notice, I'm by myself today. Brandon is out on assignment. He's a bit busy today. He did, if you watched the video or watched his live stream that he did, he opened up pre-orders. So as you can imagine, he's very busy working through all of that sort of thing. So he won't be joining us tonight. So it's just myself, kind of a throwback to the way that I used to do things. And so we're gonna go through me being here by myself tonight. See if I still got it. Hey, Steven, good to have you here. It was good to see you on my little live stream that I did the other day. That was kind of a fun little deal. I have worked a little bit with the lighting. No, Brandon, I want a refund. Sure. Whatever you paid, I will make sure to refund that. Not a problem. Yes, no Brandon tonight. He's on assignment. He's working on a lot of different things. He opened up pre-orders, as I was saying, on his website. So he's one of those people that likes to get things done. I can't really blame him. I honestly have a lot of things that I need to get done as well, but I'm going to spend a little bit of my Sunday here with you guys and then hit it hard again in the morning. So that's why Brandon's not here. And so as it is, it's kind of an old school Tactical Pontoon stream. Probably not the most interesting thing in the entire world, but it is what it is. I really do like having Brandon here. That way we can say, for example, if there's not a whole bunch of people, him and I can go back and forth, normally catch up. We message each other during the week, but really more often than not, it's really just us catching up here and going through things that maybe we saw or, going back and forth. So it's kind of a neat little ping pong back and forth. So anyways, as you can see, maybe you didn't notice, but I did change up the setting here that I'm doing the videos in, just a little bit different. Change the lighting a little bit. You can see a little bit more of the bald head due to a light that I moved over in this area. Change some of the lighting in the background. Oh, okay. Last night with the trigger. Okay, that's cool. How'd the OZ9 work with you? I'm sure it did all right. And I didn't get an email from you, so I'm guessing the trigger did okay as well. Speaking of those triggers, I am down to very, very few of them on the website. On the Excommunicado V2s, very, very few. And I'm limited basically to FDE or gold trigger shoes with a black safety. That's pretty much it. They're just about gone. So if you want one, now is the time to grab one. Like I said, the colors are limited. If a person was so inclined that they needed it in a different color and you were okay with the lead time and paying for the Cerakote, I could have that done. I know FD is a good all-around color. Gold is a little bit off. I know when I was purchasing triggers from them on that last batch, I was kind of limited down to what I could get a hold of, and I got more gold than I probably needed. So yeah, with that OZ9, it's really about the frame, the grip mod or the frame module. The frame itself, for me, I didn't like the actual frame module or grip module, and had stipple, had some reshaping done on it. So, but some people say it's the most comfortable thing ever. I must have weird hands because I just did not find it that comfortable. So but I do like the OZ9. I have considered picking up another one and, having not only the shop, because I kind of use I kind of use the one OZ9 that I have as both my shop, for building triggers directly in that module. So most of the time, my shop basic Tactical Pontoon OZ9 doesn't stay together as mine. It normally sits on the bench as a test module for building triggers. So yeah, it's an odd module. Like I said, it's almost 50-50. I've heard some people claim it's the greatest thing ever and it fits really well and they love everything about it. And then there's people like me that wonder kind of whose hands they actually made it for. So, all right, we got Dave at Desert Tactical here. Good to have you here, man. A little bit early starting up. So talking about the excommunicado, like I said, they're just about gone. And then to the best of my knowledge, that's it. I almost don't even have much in the way of like a contact there anymore. I can talk to the owner, but normally I had a direct contact or a contact that I dealt with in there, but it's not there anymore. And the last few times I've tried to get a hold of the owner, it's been kind of hit or miss. But so that being said, though, the Excommunicado is an excellent trigger shoe. I loved working with it. I built some of my best. I mean, I built a lot of Tactical Pontoon with the Excommunicado trigger shoe. There was previous to that, there was my Elite Marksman series, which started out with Apex. Then there was a version 2, which jumped to Ranger Proof for foolishly. And then for a very brief period of time, there was the Phalanx trigger, which was using the Steel City trigger. As I kind of transferred to, that's about when the Boogeyman trigger released, and I kind of went full force with those. San Diego, California, visiting family. All right. Yeah, I use the 19X Glock 45 module on mine, not the 19. So San Diego, California, visiting family. That's cool. Get away for a little bit. I like that. Driving the new Jeep. I saw it as a nice Jeep. Missed the part about Ranger Proof. Well, you didn't miss much. There was a brief period of time that I used Ranger Proof trigger shoes. I would never do that ever again. Never do that again. Arizona heat sucks. I'll tell you, and you're going to hear this from people in if it's kind of like day shift versus night shift. You got the dry heat people versus the humidity people. Me being in Louisiana, the humidity I would almost rather the dry heat, but you know how it goes. That's all right. Nobody's perfect with your Ranger Proofs. I could tell stories about that company that really, anyways, I'm not going to go into. Been down that road, almost closed down Tactical Pontoon because of those people. So yeah, 65 last night. That's awesome. 65 is cool. I wish it was 65 here. We have had a ton of rain and wind. There's actually supposed to be a thunderstorm that runs through here during this stream. So if I get cut off, it's just because I probably lost power. One thing about out here in the swamp, not the most reliable power sources. I mean, I've actually been really lucky in all of the storms we've had lately. I've not lost power, which is actually odd for us in this type of environment. So if it happens, that's probably what happens. Or what happened was I lost power. Yeah, Ranger Proof. There. On to the next thing. I'm I've been down that road. There's a lot, and there's even a lot that I have said, but I try not to dwell on it too much. But I don't. It's one that I don't recommend, no matter which real variation it is. Now I've talked a lot about it during different parts and whatnot. I did a stream once, and I privated it after everybody watched it. Loves gas a lot more than the Honda. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I remember having vehicles that got good gas mileage. We got the little Renegade. It does okay for a 4-cylinder. It's not great, but I actually got better gas mileage back in 2020 when we were leaving for the Hurricane. We took the Renegade and the Challenger, and that was before the Challenger was supercharged. And I put the tune back to factory, and so that the MDS turned on, and I actually managed 28 miles to the gallon with the Challenger. We were just taking our time going up north. I was behind her in the Renegade. She was just kind of putting along, and I got like 28 miles per gallon in the Challenger. Those days are long gone though. Long gone. But as for Ranger proof, V8 or V6 on which? On the Gladiator? Pretty sure you got a 3.6 in the Gladiator. But as for the Challenger is it's a V8. It's the baby 5.7. Yeah, it's the 5.7 currently with a supercharger and long tube headers and all that good stuff. So I don't even know what the gas mileage is at this point. It's still relatively slow. I'll put it that way. Well, 28 was impressive. And like I said, that was before I had put the supercharger on it. And I think at that time, I had just done an exhaust. No, wasn't even a full exhaust. I had just pulled the mid mufflers and changed those out. Overall, it was pretty factory. My goal originally was to keep that car factory, aside from a few little things. And of course, that went completely awry. I'd planned on getting a Hellcat, but I'd planned on getting a Hellcat. That's why I was going to leave that one factory and just not mess with it. But I also didn't feel like spending the money on a Hellcat payment and insurance. Excuse me. So I put a supercharger on it, and like I said, the long tube headers and a few other things. I would say it's probably 550 horsepower. I could tell lies and say that it's more than that, but it's probably about 550. It's enough to get in trouble. Hellcat Durango, and they wouldn't let you order a custom one. Well, that sucks. I'll tell you, it depends on when you went to go order them. There was a very big surge of popularity for all of the Hellcats, and even when the Hellcat Durango hit, it was kind of there was a lull, and then when they announced the last editions, the jailbreaks and all that stuff, then it bumped back up. I really, at this point, have no desire for a Hellcat. A lot of your used ones are going to be pretty beat up. Yeah, they're neat. I like the Hellcat wine versus your newer superchargers that use like mine, for example, is an Eaton 2.6 liter or 265 liter in an Edelbrock. It's an Eaton supercharger. Edelbrock makes the casing and all that stuff. My old I had a Magnuson 2.3 on it. Always that thing warmed up. That thing was a hot air blower. I mean, my intake temperatures were insane. But when I switched over to the ported Edelbrock, just much better blower. But they're quiet. They're very quiet. You really do not hear any whine from them whatsoever. So for a sleeper idea, I guess that's great. But I kind of wanted the whine from the supercharger. So yeah. Anyways, enough about that car. Cars in general, I guess. Sometimes we talk about cars. Nothing wrong with that. So I did get something. I know old head canoe distributors would be interested in this. Got this guy in, and I have thoughts about it. I don't know if I'm going to do a dedicated video for it because optics really aren't my thing. But there's definitely some interesting good things. Go ahead, report the stream. That's fine. Go ahead and report the stream. It's not going to hurt my feelings any. I'm dying over here without Brandon to bounce off of. So I'm so not used to doing these streams by myself anymore. I feel really awkward and out of my element. But I got this guy in. I mounted it to a dagger. I wasn't really planning on putting anything else. I was going to put it on a dagger. So I mounted it on a dagger. I charged it up. It does have the little, I probably should have called you. Does it have the self-delete owner feature? Not as of yet. Not as of yet. Did I lose it? Looked like I lost a light there for. Yeah, I think I don't see it blowing up on somebody as small as the battery is, but anything can happen. The charging idea is neat, I guess. I really don't have any problems switching batteries out. It was kind of interesting the way they sent the screws. They had a neat little box that all the screws came in, and they were all labeled, which was kind of nice. It was nice for a lot of optics. Just throw them in a little bag. But I think the biggest issue with this is going to be the glass. Some higher quality glass would really go a long way. Just initial impressions, looking through the optic, playing with it. I haven't shot with it or anything like that. I'm not dropping a fridge on it. The aluminum housing that the optic is made out of and holds the glass is pretty beefy. It's pretty thick. I think it's supposed to be, just basic 60-61. So that's probably, nope, 70-75. Okay. 70-75 right there in front of me. So 70-75, it's pretty thick. It's almost, I would say, not quite a quarter of an inch, call it 200 thousandths thick all the way around. It'd probably take a beating. It's a massive piece of glass. It really is a massive piece of glass. It does overhang on a Glock 19 slide or a PSA dagger slide. It does have some overhang of about 100 thousandths on each side. So it's not small in any way, shape, or form. But the glass is just noticeable. You can notice some parallax in it. I was getting glare in the glass, and I thought, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, I have a Holosun EPS and the baby EPS and a RMR CC, and I'm going to take a look just to see if maybe, side by side to take a look and see, and a 509T as well. And it was just noticeable. So without dropping it into a blender, without running it over, and without throwing it on a Desert Eagle, the biggest thing that I see is just that glass. So more of an optic guy. Yeah. I like optics. I used to be against, probably because I was cheap. I thought, oh man, it's just a dot in a piece of glass, I guess maybe I grew up in the 80s where everything had a laser in all the movies, 80s and 90s, where you had the laser beam. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, that actually sends a dot. Anyways, kind of an idiot. Not going to lie. So I was more on iron sights and that sort of thing. But as time has gone on, I've messed with more of the optics and shot with optics. I love a good red dot. A good red dot. I think a version 2 with some better glass and maybe a smaller, believe it or not, I really think a smaller housing, smaller optic window, at least just because it does look a little goofy on top of there. Probably be, I may put this on a shotgun, to be honest with you. Yeah, I come from not having a lot of money, and my best modifications come out of a junkyard type guy. So I understand. Like I do tend to try to get my money's worth, but I've also been burned so many times by buying cheap shit that there is a difference between quality and quantity. I mean, you gotta spend a little bit of money for that quality. And if that means you have 2 guns instead of 25, then, so be it. Okay, let's go back. Had Todd Griffin, long thread, trying to explain the Oglite group and trying to keep the optics as hard to shoot at distance. Okay. Yeah. well, Todd, that's my initial thoughts on it. It's mainly the glass. The glass is the one thing that I really think holds this thing back. Chris, think of Heisberg trigger. The only marking on those is your logo. Yes, it's on the side. Actually, I'm running low on trigger shoes right now, or I would have one here in front of me. But if you look on the website, the only marking is my logo on the side. So buy once, cry once. Yes, on many things. I love getting a good deal. I still fight it with some things. There's certain things that I will buy that maybe isn't considered top of the line. The stuff that I know actually works. But when I'm buying stuff, I'll save up. I will save up. I do drive Mopars, so judge me for that if you will. Steven, all I have is RMRs now for pistol optics. You can't go wrong with the RMR. I think Hollison is giving them a good run for their money. They've really jumped into the game, and I like them. I even like some of the cheaper optics. Don't get me wrong. I like stuff that works. I like good stuff. But like I said, it's not because it's Olight. It's just because the glass is a little bit off. If the glass was better, without saying that it would survive a nuclear blast or dropping it on the table, I haven't tried that. That's not really my thing. Hey, it's Shane. Okay, I do want to talk here about old Shane. Back last year, I did a collaboration with United. They're United Firearms now. It used to be United R&D. And we did a run of TacticalPontoon Glocks. I got the first one, which was a 19X. There were a couple others after that. Shane here, who's my friend for going on 20 years now, picked up the very last one and it was built out as a Glock 34. Beautiful gun. It was a custom even for all of these because it had a Leonidas system in it instead of the standard Peacemaker. Unfortunately, it was stolen from him, and that's one of those things. When they get stolen, you never get them back. It's pretty much almost a guarantee that you're never going to see it again. It's kind of like having a Hellcat stolen from you. If you do get it back, it's in pieces. Well, Shane managed 6 months later, that gun was found. That Tactical Pontoon number 5 Glock 34 was found intact, and he managed to get that guy back. So it was funny because he didn't November. Oh my goodness. Yeah, November. So it's been over 6 months. And you got it back. That right there is pretty amazing. So I just wanted you dropped in here, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool story. Unbelievable story that you managed to get that back. Unbelievable. And he's a well, unless you sold it, but an SRT4 owner. It's been down for a while, like they all are. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they steal them and they do those little slideshows, wreck them, and then steal all the parts off them. It's bad. Being tried to, they were trying to pawn it. Yeah, go figure. It makes it even more of a unicorn. That Glock 34, that's like that right there is like something you should hang on the wall at that point. You buy a TP Glock. I am not sure when we're going to do another run. We've talked about it. We've both gotten really busy. I've actually talked to Gunco as well about doing a collaboration, and as well as Shogun Customs. So there's an opportunity to do that. Have a Tactical Pontoon Glock. So keep an eye out. We may do another with a couple different companies. There may be an option. So one of one. Let's see. I saw something about the 508. I don't have a 508. I've thought about picking up a 508. I've got, like I said, I've got the 509T that actually was part of the Tactical Pontoon Glocks. It's on my 19X. That's a neat optic. I really like that closed emitter, small closed emitter design. Pretty nice. Number 69. We'll see what we can do for you. See what we can do. The Glock 69. But Shane, that's really cool that you've managed to. Dude, that's like I said, one of one. You still got the SRT hiding out, don't you? I forget. I feel like last time we really talked about it, you did still have it. I mean, it's kind of like me. I had mine sitting in the shed for like 3 years before I even thought about touching it again. It's still rotting. Hey, it happens, man. Life. You're a little bit older now. You're a little bit older now than we were driving those SRTs, and the neon stuff was the main point of our lives. It's funny. On some of the SRT, the little SRT4 groups, they recognize me like, hey, you drive a neon? You're the Tactical Pontoon trigger guy. You drive a neon? Like, yeah, that's me. I was driving those before I was working on Glocks. So that's kind of fun. And a stripped one in the garage. Hey, that's neon life for you. Scott has his neon sitting and a turbo PT Cruiser. That I think it's been 5 or 6 years since the neon's been running, and he picked and due to my pushing, he picked up the Turbo PT Cruiser. I just need to get over there and help him put it back together so it runs. anyways, back to kind of more on topic. Did anybody see that Forgotten Weapons got a hold of one of the mystical Glock 46s, the rotating barrel for the German police? I haven't watched the episode. I remember back in like 2019, 2018. I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was like mid 2019 when those dropped. And that was kind of the big deal, was they were doing a rotating barrel. Everybody was like, hey, is the Glock 46 gonna launch? And you got to remember that number, Glock 46, was before they dropped the Glock 45. So finally, I guess he managed to get a hold of one and do a video. I want to watch that video. Kind of, I've seen the pictures of the system and the way that barrel rotates. It's a little bit different than like the Beretta system. I would like to. It'd be fun to have one. It's not one of those things I have to have. It's just I like odd stuff. But I haven't watched the video. I was just told about it, and I've seen it posted a couple different places, and I had forgotten about the 46, to be honest. So it's kind of neat that they finally, somebody's done a video on one. Another thing is I will have a very limited run of about 5 solid copper triggers. They would be only for generation 1 through 4, not generation 5. They would fit a Glock 43 that, trigger system is very much different and heavier on the 46, which it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure it could be changed around to police gun, so I'm sure they went a little bit heavier with the components than it needed to be. But again, without having one right here. Solid copper. I'm going to have about 5 of those. I will be, they'll probably, most likely they're going to be set up as Heisenberg competition models. Like I said, it'll be Heisenberg competition, and then on the 43X side, the slimline side, it'll be the Peacemaker Extreme. The really cool thing about the solid copper is they are heavier than the aluminum, which can actually be a little bit lighter perceived trigger. They're fun. They are not the Tactical Pontoon Peacemaker design. They are the Gunco SS, so they will have their logo. The other thing I thought about doing was sending them off for Cerakote and then laser etching them so that it's black and then has a copper logo underneath. So it's a thought. I may order a couple more and just do both routes. So it's a thought. Will, if you got dibs on one, shoot me an email. It'll be later this week before these even get here in the shop and before I get them built up. So there's a little bit of time still yet before those go live. And there was another thing about those copper triggers. No, I said they're not generation 5, generation 1 through 4, and then Glock 43. As for my trigger, I did have, there's a channel called Sealy Strategics. He did a video. He was a customer before he started his YouTube channel. He's had his YouTube channel for a little while. And since I basically sponsor him, I sent him one to take a look at. So he did a video. So if you get a chance, check him out. Sealy, Sealey Strategics. It's a good guy. Go check his video out on the Peacemaker trigger shoe. I actually have it linked on the website that, I have it on the website. The video is on the website on the trigger page itself. So you can just check it out there. Lose service. Uh-oh. As I said, I could easily lose signal or power here. There is another storm. It's kind of the season. Last year we basically were in a drought. This year it's raining like nobody's business with a bunch of storms. So if I lose power, if all of a sudden I disappear, either one, Will did report me. Two, I lost power, and I'm probably going to be getting really warm and wet with all the rain. So okay, what else? What else? T-shirts, guys. If you want a T-shirt, a Tactical Pontoon T-shirt, a Peacemaker T-shirt, Leonidas, all of those are on the website under. I think I've got a swag and I've got a parts logo on, or option in the menu, and I think it is actually on the front page itself where you can get a shirt. Those will be printed at Nordic Nevadan. He's a longtime customer, and he will print those shirts out. So and normally they ship within a week. They're made to order. He ships them directly. So let's say you order a trigger and it arrives and the shirt doesn't. That just means it's still in process. It's going to come directly from him. Vice versa, if the shirt arrives and the trigger doesn't arrive, it's for a reason. They come from different places. Just jumped in on the tail end of the copper shoe discussion. Basically, I had ordered in, when we had talked about the copper shoes, what I did, Justin, was I ordered in extra. I like having some of those here and doing custom, or basically custom models with that copper trigger shoe, because it's kind of neat how heavy it is. Perceived lighter trigger. It does make a little difference. It feels different. It really does. That extra heft on that. It's kind of like me. A little extra heft goes a long way. more substantial. I have also thought about adding a couple TWP triggers back into the lineup. I don't normally carry a lot of them. I know a lot of you guys like those TWP triggers. The only reason that I don't carry a lot of them is just because the amount of triggers that I would need to keep here and maintain as one guy, it gets a little overwhelming at times. But I may add a couple more. I know you guys like those, which I can understand why. It's a neat looking design, but I think a lot of it goes down to the wider face of the TWP versus the Gunco SS. Some people like the wider face, and that is one of the things that I changed with the newest Peacemaker. Is the Gunco has a chamfered edge on both sides. What we did with the Peacemaker is the chamfer is now just breaking that edge. So you're actually getting, in non-freedom units, 1 millimeter wider face. It ends up being like a 32nd. Yeah, about a 32nd of an inch, which on your finger, it makes a difference. Everybody who's tried the Gunco SS back to back with the Peacemaker has noted the difference in the width of the shoe. So it is noticeable. And like I said, that's kind of one of the differences between the TWP and the original SS and now my Peacemaker. My Peacemaker kind of falls into that category. But as I said, gonna add a couple TWPs back to the website. Not a whole bunch of them, just a few. Hey, what's up, Embalmed? Good to have you here. Good to have you here, sir. But gonna add a couple of those. They got some neat colors. As for crazy colors on the Peacemaker trigger shoes, probably going to be a little bit before I venture out into, say, purple or even red. The next color that I'm going to add back in is FDE. I may add a red later on. No guarantees on that. I find that the most popular color is black. I go through a ton of those. ODG is just, it's a favorite of mine, and it's kind of become a more popular color here lately. And then of course FD is pretty much like, FD's the new color. But that'll probably be my next one is FD. Race car prep got rained out. Oh man. Bleeding brakes in the rain. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all. Start the party. Thomas has arrived. Good to have you here. The party is now started. Thomas has arrived. But yes, bleeding brakes in the rain is not fun. I have done that. I have changed starters in the snow, all that fun stuff. I am kind of spoiled nowadays having the shop. I'm not even gonna lie. Having the shop now, and unless something breaks somewhere where I can't drag it back to the shop, then yeah, I'll do it. Hey, I was just talking about you, Stuart, Mr. Nordic Nevadan. I was telling people to order t-shirts. Order some t-shirts. Stuart here, Nordic Nevadan, is my t-shirt guy, and he always does an amazing job. Very comfortable. Kind of one of those buy once, cry once. He does not use cheap t-shirts. So I actually lose. I pay because I want good t-shirts, and I want to make sure that they're good quality, and that they're not, overpriced or anything. I don't take a cut for t-shirts. I spend all of that with him because I would rather you guys had good t-shirts. But speaking of Stuart, I'm going to hit you up later. I kind of have a t-shirt that I want to make. Not Tactical Pontoon, but there is a t-shirt I was going to hit you up earlier, but I've been busy and I just didn't hit you up. But there's kind of an idea that I want to do. So yeah, t-shirts. If you ever have any questions, or for example, if you've got some sort of event or maybe a small business where you'd like to do your own t-shirts, hit Nordic Nevadan up. I'm sure he can get you hooked up with something. So there we go. Helping out other small businesses. Let's do it. Yeah, I'll hit you up. It's kind of dumb, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. What else do we got? That's pretty much, because I wasn't going to have Brandon here, I wrote myself a little list of things to kind of talk about, and I've kind of run out of that list because I'm not used to doing this on my own anymore. I know I did a little preemptive out of nowhere stream the other day. A couple of you guys hit me up. That was kind of cool. Maybe I'll have to do a couple of the Wild Card Wednesdays again, if I can manage to find time. We'll see. But Justin, yes sir, it is ordered. It's pretty cool. It's the same one. I don't have it out here right now because I was wearing it. That orange peacemaker. I actually just ordered 2 more of those orange peacemakers for myself as well. That's my favorite one. That's probably my overall favorite t-shirt that we have, is the orange peacemaker t-shirt. So great minds think alike there, Justin. Great minds. There is a new sticker coming. I came up with a new design. It's fun. It's probably not my I like it. I just have fun with these. I'm gonna work on another completely cartoon one. This one's kind of what you might consider a little bit of both. Let me find it here. I'll give you guys the exclusive first look at the next sticker. Here we go. I'll zoom in here for you. Look at that beautiful dude. Out of this world trigger systems. Boom. Let's see. That should be in focus. Close enough. Close enough for the rest of the stream. But that's the new sticker. I have a bunch of them coming. Probably be a couple weeks out. It normally takes about 2.5 weeks. And it's only a couple days ago that I put the order in for the stickers. So it'll be a little bit before those come out. I have a bunch of current designs. I ordered in fresh KFC crispy trigger stickers. I've been out of these for a little while. Trigger Jedi, been out of those for a little bit. Ordered a bunch more of those, so those are back in stock if you want to order any of those. But I always send stickers with trigger orders, so you never not get a sticker. Doesn't matter what you order. There's always at least 1 to 2 stickers. Normally 2. I don't think I ever send just 1. It's always 2 to 3 to 4. So I do buy a lot of stickers. I spend a lot of money on stickers. I'm not even gonna lie. You guys would be kind of freaked out how many stickers or how much money I spend on stickers. That's another reason why I don't have fancy packaging, is because you guys just throw the packaging away. But the stickers at least have a possibility of going somewhere. Yes, you do. That is correct, Stuart. Stuart sends out his stickers, which he's got some badass stickers. I think all of mine are out on toolboxes and stuff. Oh, I got one of your older designs. Your newer designs, I've got all on my toolboxes now. Yeah. The goal also is to have another patch coming up with the card design. I have emails out about this design for patches. I'm waiting for a reply. We talked. I've got a price. I've got everything. I told him to go ahead, and I just wanted to. I emailed to check on, kind of see where we were at, because I hadn't gotten a bill for it. I'm waiting for that. So hopefully we'll have the card patches before too long. So we got that. Hey, Recon Gunworks. Good to see you here. I don't know if I've ever seen you on the channel. That's cool. That is cool. We got to build something again. We got to do something. I know it's been a while since you've done a Glock. We've got to build. We got to do something. I need to get one of the new trigger shoes in your hand. So we'll do something here soon. New trigger systems. People ask me all the time about new trigger systems. I don't have anything currently in work on. Well, I have things going on that I'm always fiddling with, but as for like wrapping something up to throw a new system in the mix, not so much. But the one thing that I did add to the website is when you hit the shop button, you're going to see limited edition trigger systems. Before, they were mixed in with everything else, whatever the category they fell in, whether it was drop-in or Heisenberg adjustable. Now there's a limited edition icon or tab in the drop-down. So, excuse me. There's a limited edition. So like the peanut butter and jelly remix, which is only one left of, is in there. The Salt Racer Special Edition, which is the black with polished aluminum. The T-Virus, which right now is currently out of stock, but I did manage to secure a couple more of the zombie green safeties. So the T virus, while it's out of stock right now, it will be coming back, which is the black and zombie green, one of my favorites. And then that's where the copper will be as well. It'll be in the limited edition. So if I release anything that's a custom color or anything like that, it's going to be in the limited edition. And that makes it easier to find. So we've got that. I used to be able to put a lot more links on like Facebook and like Facebook groups so that people could just directly find things. But unfortunately, with the way social media is right now, Facebook especially, links to places like my website are basically just almost instantly flagged. So I cannot, and it makes it really difficult because then I got to be like, oh, well, just send me a PM. Well, then people sometimes get weird because, you know, all the scam, you know, you get a lot of scam posts from people that are like, oh, send me a PM. So it does hamper. I mean, it's normal. Social media, Facebook and Instagram, they're always fighting. That's a constant fight amongst all the other things that you got to jump through hoops to do. The Terminator. I had planned on bringing the Terminators back with my trigger shoe, but I got so busy that I wasn't able. Busy as in I sold the first round of trigger shoes out almost, you know, less than a month. I was out. So I actually doubled up my order of black trigger shoes on this next order. Yeah, Twitter. Yeah. Twitter. I know. I was on the original Twitter way back in the day. We're like 2006, like back when it first released, doing the original sharing your dinner crap. You know, hey, look what I'm having. It's dinner. But yeah, I haven't been on Twitter in years. We're talking like 2008, 2010, somewhere around in there. Well, Stuart, you may have missed it, but I'm bringing back a very limited number of the copper on copper or copper and black. So, but yes, Twitter's an option. It's one of those things where I'm hesitant to get onto another social media site with, like, everybody talks, oh, you need to get on Reddit. I would prefer never to delve into Reddit. I've heard horror stories. A lot of Google searches try to lead you to Reddit since forums are pretty much dead nowadays. So, and I've tried just Reddit. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really per se feel like getting on Reddit. Yeah, I'm not. Elon, when X became a thing, you know, when it became X and Elon bought it, there's definitely been a lot more freedom there versus, say, Facebook or otherwise. My thing is just I'm so entrenched in Facebook and Instagram at this point. It's almost it would feel like starting over, but maybe that's what I need to do. It's a thought. But yeah, right. Reddit. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, but it does. All these social media platforms. It's like YouTube killing streams when I showed a gun part or a gun. I know I've seen like Battlecock Tactical on there. A couple different people posting. Honest Outlaw, he basically moved all his content over to X. I guess I get so wore out on social media, and I'm already in so many different groups, like Facebook wise, that I don't know. I'll play with it. Maybe I can hire a social media person to really mess up and post something they shouldn't. Yeah. Hey, he kills it wherever he goes. When I first got into the Glock sphere of building Glocks and playing with them before even TacticalPontoon was a thing, his work was already like to the top level that it is now even now that the game has moved to where it is now, him still being one of the top. I gotta say, there are people that really do some amazing work that have finally kind of caught up with him. Not to take anything away from him. I actually don't have a gun done by him. I do eventually want to do that. Don't have any work done by him. We've talked about it on several occasions. Just me as a customer, not me as Tactical Pontoon. But I never pulled the trigger, shall we say. Need to. I've worked with so many other companies at this point, and small companies, new companies, and people that are in the Tactical Pontoon installer network, that I stay pretty busy with builds and stuff. I have several of my installers in the network. I still need to get work done through, like Current Customs, if I'm saying it right. Payne Customs, Matt over there. Need to get work from him. We need to collaborate on a gun. Do some work there. I got something really cooling. I have something really cool that myself and Sapper Tactical have put together that's coming out really soon, that kind of melds my gun stuff with the car stuff. You might have seen a little hint of it on, or seen part of it, not the incomplete version, on Instagram. But it's getting close, and it's amazing. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. We're looking forward to getting that done. It's been a long time coming. I told him, work on it when you get a time. It's a themed build. It's got a lot of detailing to it, as well as like a battle worn type look. So but it's going to be worth it. I've got something coming with Shogun Customs, another themed build, which I'm looking forward to as well. Both of those are built around Nomad frames. Still my favorite aftermarket Glock frame. Right below that would be Grit Grips. They're really close. It's so close. Nomad and Grit Grip are probably my two favorite aftermarket frames, followed by like SCT. Really like the SCT frames. They're not for everybody. The ergonomics are a little bit chunky for some. I love the way they look. And from an ergonomic standpoint, it's hard to beat the Dagger. The Dagger does get up there ergonomically with the Nomad and the Grit Grips. I think the one caught two things, but they really work together, is the roll pins in the PSA Dagger frame that really kind of kill it. If they came out with a version 2 with molded in rails without the roll pins, it would definitely be up there. Yeah, Reddit. A collab with Pete. Oh man, that would be cool. I know him and KM3. I actually built some triggers for KM3 back. No, it wasn't built. He had a customer that had one of my triggers, and I had some questions about getting it tuned right. So I did talk with KM3, but yeah, that would be cool. Never know, it could happen. Dagger to play with. Yeah, it's fun to play with different things. Like I said, if they came out with a version 2, and I really was hoping that the Saber Dagger that they came out with would be a version 2 with an updated frame, but I think due to time constraints, it just kind of didn't happen. So maybe, I don't know. I don't really have any super ins with PSA to know what's going on behind the scenes. Wish I did. KM3, yeah, man, got some good work that comes out of KM3. There's no doubt about it. And I also have something I'm working on with Defiant Customs. He's another one of the Tactical Pontoon installers. We've got a Grit Grips frame that we're doing, and it should be fun. I've seen a couple custom grit grips, but obviously not, not as good as what normally I come up with. So, oh, a new indoor range. I wish here in my little part of the world they would do another indoor range. There's one up in oh, I hate going up there. Shreveport. It's like 3.5 hours away. Beautiful indoor range, Red River Range. So if you're in the Shreveport area, which I'm sorry if you are, not a huge fan of that area. Sorry. I apologize if that's where you're from. It's just not my favorite place to be. They have a beautiful range there. Red River Range. Beautiful indoor range. Beautiful. Just dropped some wild out of nowhere and it disappears again. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't see a lot of KM3 social media wise. They like I said, they drop some really cool stuff and then they kind of disappear. Even Peter here recently, until just recently when he had his little, chassis system. Peter was definitely dropping a lot of really crazy stuff, and then he kind of flew under the radar just doing normal work. I'm sure he gets busy. Tarpon Springs, state of the art. I gotta come visit. Maybe we'll have to go there. You can see how bad of a shot I am. and I can cry over your poor neon. maybe get you excited about putting that thing back together. It's a possibility. But Shane, I definitely need to come out your way. It's been how many years? I think the last time oh my God, that'd have been 2014. That would have been 2014, 10 years ago. My God. Come tune your, yeah, I still got HP tuners. I still have your tune saved to my computer, my latest computer. I still have that original computer. But I have a new computer that I use for tuning. But I still have your file with all your stuff. Yeah, we'll see. I get so busy that my my schedule just gets insane. I managed to sneak away for a little bit. Maybe I can do it again. But Florida, I love going to Florida. Indoor range. Yeah. Iron gets back together with Turbo Bay. Yeah, hey. I have 2, 3, and I'm going to get a 4th from Turbo Bay. That they do awesome work. I remember meeting the guys from Turbo Bay at that meetup, in the big SRT4 meetup. That was cool. Man, 10 years ago. Can you believe that already? Oh my God. Wow. Ugh. Yep, Matt. Yeah, Matt. I message him all the time. We've got a plan on I just forgot his name. But he's got one that he's building for me now for a turbo system that's probably going to sit on the shelf until I find another car to run it in. But we're talking about an even bigger stage 3 for my car with divided or external housing and external wastegate and all that type of stuff. So maybe this stage 4 that Matt built me on the shelf, maybe it needs a home. Maybe that's the turbo you need for your car. It's sitting on the shelf, and he's actually, maybe we'll have to talk about it. Anyways, might have your turbo. Yeah, maybe that's what you need to get that thing back on the road. Indoor ranges. Depends on where you go, I guess. At least my experience with indoor ranges has been pretty good on the nice ones. I haven't been to any really bad ones per se, which shows you how many ranges I go to. Not a whole bunch of ranges. I miss having my own little range back here. Yes, a Florida vacation. It's actually on my list to make it to Florida this year. Maybe we can get Scott involved too. Grumpy old Scott. He's grumpier nowadays than he was back then. Took that whole weekend to put your car back together, and it still didn't pass inspection for autocross. Yeah, you got to have good ventilation for an indoor range, especially if you spend a lot of time there. Okay, as it is, guys, I'm going to get off of here. Thanks for joining me and spending a little bit of your weekend, the last part of your weekend with me. Brandon should be back next week, unless he's busy again. Like I said, he did open up pre-orders on his website. I know he's feeling very under the gun. He didn't want to do pre-orders, but just looking at to keep momentum and keep moving, pre-orders was the way to go. So he's feeling very under the gun. So if you get a chance, shoot him a message, tell him you missed him on the show, but that he's doing the right thing, getting work done. As it is, guys, I will catch you next week. I'll try. Like I said, hopefully Brandon's back. If not, if he's still busy, I'll try to plan a little bit better on what I talk about. But that's what it is. And yeah, if you ever have any questions, trigger questions, whether it's mine or others, trust me, I've fixed other people's triggers many times. I was just working on an Apex earlier for somebody via video chat and messages. Feel free to hit me up. I'll help you out as best as possible. And should you need a trigger, if you need to replace one of those Timneys, well, you can come to me. I'll gladly replace the Timney. Those things. Anyways, Timney. All right. On that note, I will catch you guys later before I talk bad about other people, which I don't need to do. All I know is I do my very best, and I will take care of you guys. If you have any questions about other triggers or my own, I am here to help you guys. You can hit me up through the website. There's contact forms there. You can leave a comment on Facebook. I try to answer as many of them as possible. Or there's email, which is TacticalPontoon@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook through the Tactical Pontoon site or page. Shoot me a message there. I'll answer it as best as possible. All right, guys. I'll catch you next week.